Hello, my name is Flo, and this is the Grape Jelly Library, where we love to talk about books. And today we are going to talk about a 5-star read and a negative 5-star read. How do you like that? If you want to find out what that negative 5-star book is, that's going to get me in a lot of trouble. Then let's get into this video. Okay, well, I'm not going to get a lot of fan mail when I announce this, but I have to be true to myself. And I was not digging this book in the slightest. I understand the laws of nature, but I don't have to like them. Because I don't like it doesn't mean I don't agree with it. It just means I don't like it. All right? And I don't like this book. Not in the least. This one is the champion. It's reigning champion over George Orwell's 1984, which if you watch my channel, you'll know I am not a fan of that one at all. This one I dislike even more. I would read 1984 2 more times before I would ever even say a good word about this book. Oh, be quiet, Floss, and let's get into the book. Just stop. Okay, I will. The book is The Call of the Wild by Jack London. I hate it. I dislike this book on so many levels. I wanted to quit it several times, but I saw it through, and I'm only glad that I saw it through for the ability to be able to know what others have read and experienced when they read this for themselves, and also the pride that comes with doing hard things. And this was a hard book. Yeah. This is the story about a St. Bernard named Buck who has a pretty nice existence. He roams the grasslands of a large pasture owned by a judge somewhere in California. And life is pretty good for Buck. And one day on Buck's walk, he is spotted by dog thieves. And because of Buck's muscular build, he is precisely the type of dog that is A, hard to come by, and B, the exact type of dog that these dog thieves are trying to capture. So Buck is stolen and put on a train and taken away. Buck is a pretty trusting dog right now because he knows nothing else. When Buck reaches his destination, he is beat. He is severely beat, and he doesn't understand why or what is happening, and he's placed in a cage and he's starved for 2 days. And when he is let out of this cage, he attacks the gentleman, where he is further beat by another man with a club. One reason why I hate the book, a second reason why I hate the book. You should absolutely read it if you have the stomach for this type of thing, because it's an experience that we shouldn't deprive ourselves, and it is how we grow as individuals and as readers. So if you have the stomach, yes, I don't discourage you from reading this book. I wanted to quit this book several times, but I persevered and I saw it through. I came out of the book not liking it at all, but I did come out of the book more knowledgeable. I came out of it stronger, more, even more compassionate than I already am with the animals, and the slightest bit of pride, because I did a hard thing. It was a hard book to read and I did it. And so in that aspect, there's just a sense of pride that I did that hard thing. And also when somebody is discussing The Call of the Wild, I'm on the same page. I know what they're talking about. And although they might have a different point of view than I have, I still can understand and jive with what they're saying. This book has a lot of violence. It has a lot of death. It's cruel. It's the law of how the dogs are ranked. Submissiveness, if you're going to be, sink or swim. And God, in order to swim in this book, you have to be aggressive. And it's to the end, fight to the end. And yeah. Well, that's my experience with it. And I don't want to go into any spoilers. So I'm going to stop right there. I'm going to leave it at, it's a hard book to read, but it is a book that you should read. And, I'm sure you can get positive takeaways from it. For me, the bad supersedes any positive message that I can get from the book. And so this book tanked for me. I do not like it, but I do recommend you read it for yourself and see what you think, see what your thoughts are on this book. And if you have read it and you want to comment and your opinion differs than mine, that's okay. That's what makes life great and relationships great, when two opinions do not agree with one another, but we still come out as friends. All right, so let's get on to a 5-star read. Yeah, we're going to end this video on a positive note. This is a long title, and I'm old. So we got some paperwork to help us remember this title. I know that the author's name is Sean. It is Sean. Oh, okay. Sean Stockton. Okay, my apologies. All right, this is Learn Life and Leadership Lessons from the Grit and Determination of Teddy Roosevelt. Now, after reading this book, I am getting, you either hate him or you love him. And that's how Teddy Roosevelt was. We have people that greatly disliked him, and we have people that absolutely love him and say he was the greatest man that they ever knew. We're not reading this book from a political standpoint at all. We're reading this book because he was a man, and he was a man that did good things. And it is great when we can find strength in others, to help us find our own strength. Pertaining to The Call of the Wild, oddly enough, there is a quote from Mark Twain in this book, and it is not the size of the dog in the fight, it is the size of the fight in the dog. Yeah, and I would agree with that. We all have that capability inside of us, but how far do we want to go to pull it out of us? It talks about a psychological bank balance. And what that is any positive experiences that we have, that would be a deposit into our psychological bank. Any negative experiences we have are withdrawals. And if we're always withdrawing negative from our psychological bank, we are going to go bankrupt. If we learn to see the good in even the smallest achievement that we make, then we're depositing positives into our psychological bank account. And guess what? We are going to build an abundance. We're going to thrive, and we're going to strive, and we're going to build a discipline and a repertoire, and we're going to want to do good things for ourselves and for others. So that's one of the reasons why I love this book so much. Overcoming grief and strife is a hard thing. We all have our fair share of hardships, and sometimes life throws us big lemons, and we're like, how am I ever going to overcome this? I just don't know that I am. Teddy Roosevelt's mom died on Valentine's Day, and just a few short hours later, his wife also died on the very same day, leaving him with a 3-day-old baby to raise. That, that's huge. Huge. Somehow, some way, he found a way to go on. That's not an easy thing. So that is strength that comes from within. However we have to find it, it's there. We just have to dig deep, and sometimes we have to dig very, very deep. It asks us to imagine in our mind's eye the great things that we can become, and then focus on that with laser vision and apply action to thought. And guess what? Sooner or later, through discipline and focus and hard work, we can become that. Hard work pays off. I'm sure you heard that before. It might be a long time since you heard that, but I believe that in today's day and age, it still reigns supreme. It is still 100% accurate. It talks about self-efficacy and how failure does not define who we are. And some people might wallow in their failure and just say, I'm no good. I'm never going to be any good. I'm just awful. And that is not the truth. That is what you're telling yourself, but I'm telling you, friend, that is not the truth. You are somebody, and you can do great things. So some people will go that route. I ask you not to do that. Focus on the people that get yourself a good role model. That's what you need to do. And focus on the people that have failed, but they didn't let that failure crush them. They used that failure as leverage to help them know what they did wrong and help them to do things differently the next time. So that's it, friends. They are my 2 books that I am bringing you today. I hope you will read both of them. And if you can't read both, maybe pick the one that interests you the most. But I have to say, when everything was said and done, and I read these 2 books back to back, and I didn't plan on it going the direction that it did. I didn't plan on a -5 and a +5. It's just the way that it panned out. And you know what? I am 100% okay with that. Don't come at me with hate mail. We all have the right to our opinions. But I do hope you will read both of them. Until my next video, know that I love you. Be well, be good, and be reading.